Okay, let's talk about trucking. You know, trucking is a long. It's long hours. If you like long hours. Me, I'm on a job where I'm home 2, 3 times a week, sometimes, and my average sleep period in between hours is about 10 hours exactly. Because I go home, takes an hour, because I have to fight through the traffic. Plus, I got to eat something. That's another hour. And then I got to wind down. That's another hour. So I'll have at least about 7 hours sleep. Actually, less than that. Six, because I have to leave exactly at 10 hours, according to my dispatcher. The way he plans me all the time. He never gives me 12, 14 hours in between. He always gives me exactly 10 hours in between my time off. Which is that's how dispatchers or that's how these dispatchers are. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. And he's there's one thing I have to criticize him about is about backing up a truck. He doesn't have a CDL, to be honest. He does not have a CDL. And he automatically thinks he can drive anything. Yeah, I seen him back up. He's pretty good at backing up and all that stuff, which is great. But when it comes to giving us, breaks in between our, since I'm home, I'm home on the weekends. I got weekends off. Some trucking companies, they won't give you any weekends off. When I was staying out for like 18 months, days days were everything was by the number. My days were by the number. So Saturday and Sunday to me was not existent. All I care about is what day I have to deliver the load. That's it. You know. And then it's like every day is the same day when you're driving out there. You know. Every day is the same fucking day when you're out there. When you stay out at a long time, you stay out for a long time. It's just it's funny about it. That you people who really want to drive a truck. You got to sacrifice a lot of time. You have to sacrifice a lot of time to make money. That's basically the objective is to make as much money as you fucking possibly can. I used to work for a company, and I'll just give you the letter. It begins with a C. I used to work for them, off and on. It's the first time I worked for them was about a year, and I got fired from them. And then I think then I worked for this other company. It was a regional company, and I worked for them for like it begins with a B. I worked for them for like 3 years, and all of a sudden they shut their doors. So I went back to C again, and they hired me. That's how desperate they are. I'm the one they fired me, and now all of a sudden they hired me because they need a driver. And after 2 years, I finally got the hang of it, what to do and everything, and never had any problems. The tire wise, they're really good at taking care of tires, and they're exactly on by the e-logs. So I did e-logs for them for a couple of years. Qualcomm e-logs are way easier than the e-logs I'm doing right now, you know. But it's like, when I was working for C, My took home after all for 1 year was 29 grand at 32 cents a mile. And I was out, yeah, 2 months out of the week. You know, I lived in my truck. I lived in hotels because that's the only way I made money. It's 29 grand for that, for working that company, for C, and it's a big company, you know, 29 grand for being out 2 months and 1 weekend off. All that work, going to Canada. I used to go Canada a lot, and I used to do all the work, the paperwork. Like if you go to Mexico, you need to break the bond. If you're going to Canada, you need to break the bond before you get to the Canada border. And then once you break the bond and have the stamp, then the the border patrol people, the customs, they look at it, and then you get a stamp saying you're approved to cross the border, because they know exactly how much amount you got in your truck. If you got another load from Canada going to Mexico, it's like most of the time you go down to Laredo and they can break the bond there, from Canada. It's like they can break the bond there. Most of the time, if you're going in the States, if you're taking a load going to Canada, you don't, going to Mexico, really, you don't need to break the bond. You just take it straight to Laredo, and then the Mexican drivers could take it down to Mexico, That's the way it works. But, it's funny. I did a lot of Canadas. I was good at doing Canadas, actually. It's Canada. You have a bit easier time to find a parking lot in Canada compared to the United States, actually. Way easier time to find a parking lot in Canada, I like the hours up there compared to the United States. The Canadian hours are you have more leeway in Canada compared to the United States, But it's like America is they're more stricter, actually. I mean, yeah. And the people, it's all about money. Trucking industry is all about money, It's all, it comes down to that. It's like you get fines, Some trucking companies, they won't let if you fucked up, you pay the fine out of your own pocket. I'm gonna tell you that straight out blunt. If you fucked up and you didn't, it was like, just for instance, if you didn't scale your trailer and you got fined for overweight, the company's gonna make you pay for it. So I'm just letting you know now, But and there's a lot of things that some companies, they make you pay for shit, See, the company I'd worked for, I had at least 50 things on that list of paying shit with C, and I didn't know what most of them are. I had to pay for the pre-pass that came out of my pocket. Let's see, I paid for the pre-pass. I paid for the locks, the locks for the truck. If you take a high risk load, you have to lock your truck, and you have to lock your trailer up so they don't steal your truck and trailer, and you got to tell them exactly where you're at. Let's see what else. And yeah, C was really, I mean, I like my dispatcher. She was really good, really cool. I liked her. I have nothing bad to say about her, to be honest. I actually worked well with her, but I wish I got paid more. Going to Canada, they pay me $20 to go into Canada and $20 to come back in the United States. What kind of shit is that, You got to go through customs, It's pretty fucked up. They should pay you $200-300. You know, they should pay you $100 to go across Canada and $100 back to the United States, because custom is a pain in the ass. You know, custom. The American customs. You know, being American. You know, American customs are assholes. You know. The Canadian, I mean, I guess it's reverse for the Canadians. To me, the Canadian customs are pretty cool, you know? I had no problems with them. They were pretty down to earth. I like Canada customs. I wish Americans were like exactly Canada customs, you know? Nice. You know? You know, only a greedy world treats people like slaves, you know? You have to go through the bullshit of identification. The bullshit of identification, which I fucking hate so much, you know? Just across a fucking border, you know? Which, it's like, what kind of world do we live in where you have to live, where you have to show your ID, you know? And then you worry about people taking your jobs from another fucking country, you know? You know what's funny about driver shortage? Is it might come down to that for America, for foreigners to come over here to drive, you know? Which, if they want to come here, have good luck, because you're not going to get paid much, you foreigners. You know, they're going to try to pay you as cheap as possible if you guys want to come over here and drive. They're going to pay you fucking cheap as possible, you know? And knowing Americans, they're going to treat you as 3 times as hard. They're going to fuck with you, basically, you know? So, you foreigners, if you want to come over here, you know, you might get treated, you know, people are assholes here. People are racist here in America, you know? But, you know, some foreigner, I mean, whoever wants to drive here, good luck. Good luck. That's all I'm saying, you know? Me, personally, I like to see the trucking industry go down, you know? Because for, you know, the 25 years I've been driving, you know, finally a trucker has an advantage. A trucker has an advantage for the first time in their life because of this driver shortage coming, you know? If you you know, don't go to trucking. You know, trucking, you're a slave. Basically, that's what you are. You're a slave, and they treat you like slaves in the whole industry, warehousing, trucking, and government corporation. You know, that's what they are. Unfair treatment of slaves. You know, slave wages, low wages for all the hours you work. You know, all the hours you work, you know, and then it's like, and then you get fed up and you want to quit the company, you know? Because you're so tired and burnt out, and then you take a month off. You know, that's for me. I always took a month off every time I quit because I can't take it no more, the traveling wise. And once I get the month off, I recover from it, and then now I have to start find another job, and I get and then my week's vacation won't be till next year. So you think about that. You know, when you quit that company, your first vacation will be next year. You know, so you could be I work constantly for 8-9 years, quitting companies left and right. You know, and it's putting a toll on me. To be honest, it's putting a toll on me and my body. You know, that's what it does. I mean, how it's gonna happen. You know, and mentally, you know, 25 years doing this job, mentally, you know, your mind is gonna wander off somewhere, and it's gonna drive you nuts. You know, mentally and physically. You know, sometimes you need after driving for so long, being alone on the road. You know, for me, coming back to this house, getting a house here, you know, being with society is kind of weird, to be honest, for me. It's kind of weird. because I have a hard time being part of society. Because having a trucking job, it's like I'm never hardly home. I can't enjoy life. Trucking, you cannot enjoy life. Period. They should. They should do is make it 8 hours of driving and 14 hours off. I know it's kind of stupid to say that, but yeah. And still pay you what you're meant to be paid for, Fuck the economy, fuck the economy. You should work 8 hours to drive. You should drive a truck for 8 hours and have 14 hours off. I don't give a fuck what these people say, I don't feel like, after 25 years, I don't feel like driving fucking, 11 hours a day, and 10 hours off, I don't feel like driving 11 hours a day and 10 hours off. I'd rather have 8 hours of working, 8 hours of driving, and 14 hours off. At least I can relax and I can enjoy being in my truck for 14 hours. But, you like to, look at people today. Look at people who work, really. Look at the people who work out here, 8 hours. And 14, yeah, it's 24 hours, so 8 hours, yeah. 14 hours off, It's like, yeah. That's why can't we 8 hours, 16 hours off or something? Yeah. 8 hours, 16 hours off, just like everybody else. No, not being overworked, not being pressured in delivering a load, I don't give a fuck what these companies out here say, You can't live like this. 14 hours would be perfect because you can go exercise, You can enjoy life at least a little bit when you're off somewhere, someplace. You can enjoy the sights where you're at, I just fucking can't stand driving a truck, sooner or later. I got another fucking, I got another 20 years left to drive trucks, I got 20 more years to drive trucks. And I don't know if I can, I don't know. Right now, I got this mortgage, I got everything else to pay, so it wouldn't make a difference on where I work anymore, It doesn't make a difference on where I work. My experience, I'm giving you guys my experience driving a fucking truck. And it's a scam. Trucking is a fucking scam. I'm just telling you that straight out. The whole corporations, government, they're scams. Corporation, governments, and warehousing. They're all scams. Only the food warehousing is the scam. The other warehousings, like the dry goods and everything, if you don't, that not food related, they're not a scam. Just drive for a company that pays the lumper, because most of the, for company drivers, we have to negotiate with the lumper on how much money. We have to negotiate with the lumper on how much they want to unload the trucks. Then you'll call your company, and they will authorize or let you. They will authorize how the payment to you. So it really is not coming out of your pocket. It's coming out of their pocket. Which is bullshit. Even though they ordered the shit themselves. That's so basically the company loses money when you pay a lumper. The company loses money when you pay a lumper. You know, unless the brokerage is paying for the, you know, usually the brokerage pays for the lumper, you know, and then it wouldn't come out of our own pocket actually. But if you're like an independent company, you know, for lumpers, usually you pay out of your fucking pocket to do that, or the brokerage will pay out of their pocket to do that, you know. Yeah, I always end up with the brokerage and paying it up, you know. But it's like the lumper, the food warehouse is nothing but a fucking scam, you know. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.